Hi, welcome to Undead Yarn. This is episode 62. My name is Heidi, and you can find me on Ravelry as Knitty Girl, and on Instagram and Twitter as Knitty Girl 1, and that's the number 1. How's everybody doing? Hope things are going well for you. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. I think the rest of the school year may be a little crazy. Hopefully not. Right now it feels pretty crazy. But anyway, let me go ahead and get started with what I'm working on. This week I only worked on 3 things, and I tend to kind of want to work on the easy things right now. I'm just sidetracked a lot. This is the Mother of All shawl, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry that just came out. Last week I was knitting with this yarn. I was knitting a different pattern, and it just wasn't working out right. I think my stitch count was off, and I really wanted a triangular shawl. I'm more of a shawl person than a stole person, so I ripped it out and I started the Mother of All, and I don't know the designer's name, but it's free and it just came out this past week on Ravelry, and this is in my Mardi Gras Roadkill colorway, which is actually gone now. Somebody bought the other skein of it, and you really can't see the colors very well in this lighting right here. There, if I get closer, that looks more like it. It's a pretty dark green with it's green with dark pops of green and gold, and then a little bit of purple. It's basically the same colors I used for the Don't Eat the Baby colorway, except this one ended up being a lot more green. So this is as far as I've gotten. You can see I have mistakes in it. I'm not ripping it out. This shawl's for me, so I'm okay with it. So anyway, and I'm using my Yellow Rose stitch markers that I got from the people who run the Yellow Rose Fiber Fest. I love these stitch markers. They're little sparkly yellow roses. So that's one thing, and that is sitting in my Java Jenny bag, which I love. It's a really great size. I won't have to move it when the shawl gets bigger because it's a nice big size. And she's got a hook over here, a handle, and it's got one of those, it reminds me of those snap bracelets, the cover or the closure, it just snaps shut. So I like that because then I don't have to worry about yarn catching and ripping like at a zipper or anything. So that's one project. I have been continuing to work on the Winter Mystery Knit Along with Susanna IC, and I'm actually been pretty good. I've kept up pretty much. We're on clue 5 now, and I finished clue 4. I haven't started clue 5 yet, but you can see the pattern is starting to show, and I love this yarn. It's 3 Irish Girls, and it's in the Gulf of Mexico colorway. And you can see it's greens and black with pops of black. It's mostly green though, with some blue in there too. And this little snowflake things are starting to show up. I do have a couple of mistakes in this. They're only off by 1. And since I'm not using this for a show sample or anything, I kind of, unless it's like a huge glaring mistake, I don't worry about it too much in my shawls and my socks. Especially if they're just for me. Now, if they're going to be a show sample, if it was going to be a show sample, I would definitely rip it back and fix it, because I want my samples to look nice. You know, people really look at those. But if it's just something for me, I'm not too worried about it. If it's a gift and the person's not a knitter, I'm not too worried about it, unless you can look at it and it looks ridiculous, like there's a big old drop stitch or something. That's just how I am with my knitting. And I'm using my LDS Venus bag, and I have to say I'm really loving this bag. It's very sturdy. I think I have to go back and look at the note she gave me, but I believe the outside is the denim that she uses and a cone of cotton on the inside. It's very strong and sturdy, and I think she's going to do, most of her bags are going to be embroidered. I will show you guys when I get to the talking about the shawl along. She sent the prize bag for y'all. But I've never had a bag like this, and I always wanted to try one, and I actually really like it because then I can take it with me wherever I'm going. Now, Granted, I have a shawl in here, so it's not like I'm knitting in the shawl and walking, especially because it's a pattern shawl. You know, I have to sit down and look at the pattern. But I really do like the bag. And I'm using my Addi Turbos, and I'm using these just because I have so many projects that I didn't have the size needle I needed for this. So I had to use what was left, and I even had to use one of those extender things. Not my favorite idea for my favorite way to do a project, but I didn't feel like it was justified in buying a new needle just for that. So anyway, I really like this bag. I haven't had any issues with it, and it's strong and sturdy, and I actually kind of really like the fabric. It's strong. So those are 2 projects, and the last project, I don't think I was even working on this last week. I don't remember. Probably not, because I had finished up another sock. I'm trying. I don't know how well I'm going to do this, but I'm trying to finish up socks before I start new ones, and I have a lot of socks that are languishing on the needles, so we'll see. I did finish. Both the socks are ready for their heel, and I think I've pretty much lined them up pretty good this time. Sometimes one is longer than the other. They might be a little bit off, but they're pretty close. And the colors aren't exactly the same, but I'm not too into. It doesn't have to be a perfect match. So you can see they're sparkly. And this was a Roadkill colorway. It was supposed to be the Monster 80s color, but this color right here, something got into the dye pots, and it turned out to be a peach color instead of the bright fuchsia color it was supposed to be. So I decided to keep it. And it's funny, you can't, like, the colors really are washed out. So if you get closer up, you can kind of see. It's a really bright chartreuse green and a bright yellow, and the peach is kind of bright, and a turquoise, but it's hard to see the colors. That's good. Yeah, that's probably more accurate, so I just have to mess with where I show you guys the thing. That's actually really close, true to color. That's what the colors look like right there. So, and that's in my Black Horse Knitter bag, and now it's me, my dog, and some yarn. It's her old style bag. This one's a drawstring bag. She has a new style bag now. But anyway, those are the 3 things I worked on. I know I had so many works in progress last week, and a lot of stuff just did not get worked on. I just needed easy knitting this week. I do have one FO, and I didn't bring it up. I wish I had. I've finished plying the Jacob yarn, or the Jacob fiber that I had from Knitter's Nightmare. I don't remember what the colorway was, but I will show that on the next podcast, because it's still on the bobbin, and I wanted to skein it up and give it a good washing before I show you guys. The color's beautiful, and I asked everybody what they thought I could do with it. And actually, Sadie recommended colorwork mittens, and I think that's a really great idea. The colors are very vibrant, so I think it would be really nice in using a neutral color along with that yarn to knit a pattern. And I know that I was just listening to New Hampshire Knits. I think it's NH Knits, New Hampshire Knitting, and she's going to be doing a mitten knit along towards the end of February. I'm mixing up a few of them. I think she might have said February 19th it's going to start. I'm not for sure. But she's also giving away a lot of coupon codes and things. A lot of designers have offered up coupon codes for their patterns. So I'm going to go check that out, and I may join in on that. That would also go into my goal this year for knitting with my hand spun. So we'll see. That's kind of in the works. But I've got, I really have to go through my office. I think that's going to be my job today, is to go through my office and look at all my works in progress and figure out if I really need to keep them or if I need to frog them, because I keep adding stuff and it's just getting kind of out of hand. Anyway, for weekend, before I go to weekend review, I wanted to show you guys, I got in the mail from Cajun Girl Knits. She has an Etsy shop. Let's see if I have her card. Here's her card, CajunGirlKnits.etsy.com. she gave me some stitch markers, and she gave me some little minis. I should have asked her what to do with these, because I'm not going to make a mitered square blanket, and these are they're not huge, so I don't even know if they're like each one, individual one is enough for a barn raising square. But maybe I can make a color work cowl. I don't know. If you guys have ideas, let me know. These she sent for me, but she also sent some for you guys. So I'm going to show you those. I have not opened that yet, so bear with me. There might be a little crinkling, but I wanted it to be all in one place. And she also sent some stitch markers for you guys. Here they are. Same stitch markers. And let me open up and show you guys what colors are in this one, because this is going to be a giveaway. I'm going to put a new thread up, a sticky thread, in the Ravelry group, and I'm probably going to run it for more than 2 weeks, because I will be going to the Hill Country Weavers Retreat in a couple of weeks, and I want to make sure that there's enough time for a lot of people to enter. So, and I'm not sure after that. I'm not sure. I might podcast there, but I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do that or not. So, I'm not sure how long it will be until the next podcast is what I'm trying to say, because that will be in a couple of weeks. So I won't be podcasting that weekend. And then depending on how the weekend work and everything goes after that, we'll see when the next podcast goes up. It might be a little late. So, anyway, I wanted to show you guys which ones she sent. And, oh, good, she did label all of them. This one's a superwash BFL nylon, and this is called Hottie Toddy. That seems like a good place to hold it. This one, I think these are self-striping, but I'm not sure for sure. Rainy Day Rainbow. This is another BFL nylon. Nice colors. I love them. This is the crawfish boil. This one I had looked at on her site, and I almost bought it. If I like the way it knits up, I may go back and have to buy myself a full skein of that one. Because look, it's my colors. It's red and orange and brown. I think that one was a self-striping. I think these are all self-striping. I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure. This is Go Tigers. I guess they're all BFL nylon. This one is Powerpuff Girls. I believe these are all self-striping. I think these are samples of her self-striping. Ooh, I like this one, Heavenly Rainbow. I really like the colors in this one. There's another one I might have to go and look for a full skein of. So these are going to be up for a prize. And what I'd like you to do is go to her Etsy shop, and I will put that link in the sticky note thread. Go to her Etsy shop and let me know what colorway is your favorite colorway. And you will win a bunch of mini skeins. Let's see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 mini skeins. And I'm going to try to wrap this back up so that it will be all nice for you guys. Look, she wrapped it up like you would wrap up a little candy. Okay. And I will send the stitch markers along with that. So I'm going to probably keep that open till at least the next podcast, and maybe longer depending on when I podcast next. So go enter for your chance to win a bunch of mini skeins. And I know everybody's really into mini skeins right now. I like mini skeins, I just don't really know what to do with them. I know what to do with the bigger ones, but the little tiny ones, I'm kind of at a loss because I don't really want to make a mitered square blanket. So, I don't know, maybe if you guys have any other ideas of what to do with those little tiny mini skeins, let me know. Excuse me, I did mention that, let's see, let me go into enabling. I forgot to mention. I went to the Sated Sheep with some of my friends the other day. We went on a Saturday, and it's a new shop in Dripping Springs, Texas, which is about 45 minutes from where I live. And it was a really neat shop. It had a lot of, I gotta stop saying, it had a lot of different kinds of yarn, and it had some yarns that I have not seen in person. Road to China Light I hadn't seen. There was another one that, the funny thing is I was listening to the Ready Set Knit podcast, which is put on by the people who own Webs. And they were interviewing someone who used to do Pepperberry Knits yarn, and I forget her new yarn name. It's a luxury name because she does cashmere, but they actually had her yarn there and the kits that she had just been talking about on the podcast I just listened to, so that was kind of neat. It's a really cute shop. You walk in and there's lots of tables. There's nice big open windows, so there's lots of good light. And they have coffee and they have tea and they have wine, and I think that's it. But you can get whatever you want to drink there and hang out. There's definitely places to hang out. It was a cute little shop. And like I said, it had a lot of different things that I hadn't seen before. A bunch of the girls bought one of those yarn ball winders because they had some handmade ones there, and I think they were made by Sun Valley Fibers had their name on them. So they had those. They had Stitch Studio bags. They had a lot of unique things that I don't see that often. I'm drinking some, I think I talked about David's tea before. This is the peanut butter cup one. I think I only have enough for one more cup after this, so I'm savoring it. But you know me, I like to try out different indies, and I haven't tried this one out before, and the thing that drew me in was the big, huge skein, like Miss Babs. So this is 500 yards of a sport weight, and the dyer is called the Sheepwalk, I believe, Fiber Arts Studio. And I looked it up, and I believe this is actually a yarn shop in Bandera. And I went to Bandera last year, but I don't remember there being a yarn shop. Maybe I didn't look hard enough. This says Wild Creek Inc., Wild Horse Independent Spirited. Maybe that's the yarn? I'm not sure. But it is a local dyer. And this is, let's see, does it say the colorway? This is called Wild Card. So this is a huge skein, and it probably will be a shawl unless I can figure out some kind of, maybe a short sleeve cardigan or vest. Probably not a vest, but maybe some kind of short sleeve cardigan to make with this. It's very squishy, and I love that it's a big skein. So that was one thing that I got. My brother-in-law was in town, and I did go out with my friends to the Sated Sheep while he was here. So my husband and my brother-in-law went downtown, and they tried on cowboy boots and cowboy buckles and all that kind of stuff, because we're not from this area, so it's kind of a fun thing for them to do. So I was at the yarn shop then. And then after he left, we went to see, it was either that week or maybe the week before. I guess it was before he came. We went to see the Fifth Wave at Alamo Draft House. And I know I've talked about Alamo before. They've changed up their menu, which is really nice. It's more, I want to say vegan, but not really, more vegetarian friendly. Because before I liked it, but I wasn't in love with it because there weren't a lot of options that weren't heavy. And now, because they opened one apparently somewhere in California, they changed up their menu, and I'm loving it now. So it's pretty good. The Fifth Wave wasn't bad. I wanted to see it because I actually have an excerpt from the book that I got at Comic-Con a couple of years ago. Comic-Con is crazy. You can get all kinds of free junk and stuff. So I had heard about it. I just hadn't read the book. So I wanted to see it, and it wasn't bad. The book, I think, got a lot of acclaim, and that's why they made the movie. The movie was good. It wasn't like my favorite movie, but it was good. It was another one of those YA apocalyptic movies. The Fifth Wave was supposed to be another wave of, it has to do with aliens in this one, and, it is kind of apocalyptic. Things, you lose electricity, all kinds of things, and the aliens are coming in and trying to take over the Earth. That's what the premise of the movie is. Acting was pretty good. Not bad. So I guess I'm on to enabling. The first thing, thank you, FiberTrek. Thank you, Sarah from FiberTrek. She mentioned on her podcast where you could still get Cornish tin And I really wanted Cornish tin yarn in this colorway. This is the limited colorway that was put out by Blacker Yarn. And it's 70% wool, 10% mohair, and 20% alpaca. This is the DK. I wanted to get the fingering, but the fingering was all gone. And luckily they had the color I wanted. I can't, do I have offhand the name of the, I don't know offhand. I don't remember offhand who I bought it from. But if you're interested, go listen to her, not her latest podcast, but the podcast before. She mentions the shop that still has some of this, because I think they still have some. I don't think they are sold out yet, but it is limited, and once it's gone, it's gone. So I was very happy to get some of that. And this may be the only other enabling I have. I did get some Yarn Club shipments in from my Spartacus Dyes club, but I think I put them away already. So the club has been finished, and now I need to knit some of her yarn. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with it, because I think I have 6 skeins of it now. It's all very pretty colorways, so I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with them. And I got an email, and it's funny because I haven't got an email from this company in a long time. But I got an email that Discontinued Brand Name Yarn was having a sale, 40% off. So I just went to look out of curiosity, since I haven't had an email from them in a long time. And they had Cherry Tree Hill, which I thought was, I don't think they're still dying or still around, I'm not sure. But they had this Super Sock Silks. It says self-striping, but it's really not self-striping. This is a gradient. Mulberry Silk, woolen silk. And I got it for a really great price. Let me hold it. See if I can get that good spot again. The middle is not pink. The outside is pink. The middle is actually red. Maybe it's just not the right. It's not the right angle. This one is not like the other one. The middle is red, and then it's pink, and then it gets red, and then it's orange, and then yellow, and then pink again. But it's a gradient, and I'm very excited to use it because it's got silk in it. But it's 354 yards. I wished it was a little longer, but it was a good price. So I am excited to knit with this. I really like the colors. They're very beautiful. And I like that it's got some silk in it. It's not like my lace weight yarn has silk in it, but this one has mulberry silk, so it's different. So it's probably, I would say it's probably a sturdier yarn. And this one is fingering, and it's not lace weight, so that's probably a fairly sturdy yarn. So I believe that's all I have for enabling. Let me look inside. Yes, I do. I do have some other things that I found when I was going through my things from Stitches, and I couldn't find them before. And they just finally, I found them underneath a bunch of stuff. So when I was at Stitches, a lot of people gave me stitch markers, and some of them were really cute. Like this one from Heavenly Fibers. My friend Leilani from Heavenly Fibers gave me this one because it has all the skulls on them. And this made me so happy. I was so tickled by this. Knitting Rose Yarns gave me ones that say Undead on it. How awesome is that? Thank you, Lise. I love these. I was so disappointed I couldn't find them. I was so excited when I found them. And the nice thing is she put on a safety pin, so I have a way to keep them together. And then Jeanette, Bookish Stitcher, when we were at Stitches, had bought me some earrings, and I couldn't find those either, but they're very cute. They're from Vintage Rose, and they also have the skulls on them with like the Monster High, and I have a Monster High colorway, so they're perfect. I should wear these on the retreat. Anyway, those are some things that I found that were gifts when I was at Stitches, and I'm telling you, keeping track of yarn and all the stuff that you have to take to a show can be confusing. And sometimes when you're leaving, you just want to leave fast, so you throw everything together, and it doesn't, you don't always find it until you really, really need it. So anyway, that's all my enabling. I did want to say thank you to all of you. We reached 900 members, so I went ahead and drew from the introduction thread. If you haven't introduced yourself, that's where I look when I'm trying to find. It's so hard to do this, and like I want to have light, but I don't want to be washed out. So it's hard to find a medium. If I do that, then you can't see me at all. The 900 member draw. If you wanted to be part, if you want a chance to win every time we reach your blah blah blah. I need speech therapy myself. If you want a chance to win, you can introduce yourself in the introduction thread, and each time I pull from the whole thread, I just do a random number generator. And this time it was a number that was fairly early that won. Julie R. Knits is the one who's the winner, and you can go ahead and, if you hear this, PM me and let me know what skein of yarn you would like from my shop, and I will send it to you. You are the winner for the 900 member draw. And it's Julie from Indiana. So you introduce yourself, and you need to be a member of the group in order to win for one of the draws, but that's where I pick when we reach a milestone number. That's where I pick for a winner. And we also had 2 FOs in the FO thread for January, and I forgot to draw for that last time. We had one from Knit Jen, and she used knitted some socks with my Everyday's Halloween colorway, and then I think she must have had leftovers, because the month later she knit some mitts with the colorway, the same colorway. Let me show those. Here they are. And that's my Everyday is Halloween. And then Talia also knit something with my new base, my new DK base, and she knit something that actually was not a toy. Because she's a toy knitter, or a toy crocheter. She knit some mitts with the Horns colorway that I sent her. So I did a random number generator between those two. It's funny, it's just 2 people, but the winner was Knit Jen, and I think she might have won last month too, but you win again, Knit Jen. PM me and let me know what $7 or less pattern you would like. So if you guys are interested in trying out for a chance to win a $7 or less pattern, if you knit something in my yarn, you can put it in the FO thread, and each month if there's an FO during that month, I will pull from that thread, and somebody will win a $7 or less pattern. That's giftable from Ravelry. Next, we need to talk about the shawl along. It's still going strong. Thank you to Andre Sue Knits and Talia and Marlicia from Penhook and Needles and Jeanette from Bookish Stitcher for participating with me. You are able to post in any of their groups. You can post in all of our groups if you want. We all have different prizes that we're giving away. And we actually will accept works in progress. It just needs to be finished between January 1st, actually December 31st, because I did allow that day, December 31st and March 31st of this year. So when you complete a shawl, you can go ahead and post it in our Ravelry groups. And each one of us has different rules, so you might want to look and see what the rules are, but they're pretty similar. And I wanted to show you, I got some more of the prizes in. I showed some last week, and I've talked about the other ones, but I'll show the 2 that came in, and they were bags. And one is from LDS Venus, the bag that I've been using that I love. This is the bag that she sent, and look at this one's embroidered too. It says, "I love knitting with hand spun." And it's got the same jean material on the outside, the denim material, and then the Kona cotton on the inside. And you are able to put the loop through so you can carry it with you like that. Your yarn won't snag because there's no zipper. Here is her shop name, LDS Venus. And I need to ask you, Are you on Instagram? Because I wanted to tag you the other day and I couldn't find you. So let me know if you're on Instagram. I guess I should look at your Ravelry page, but if you hear this before I get a chance to look, let me know. And that was one bag, and then we got a bag from Halcyon, and she did such a nice wrapping job. I didn't unwrap it, but I need to show you guys the present, so I need the present. Well, it will be a present for whoever wins it, but I want to show it to you guys, so I really probably need to take it out of the wrapping. She did a nice job wrapping it up. But I am going to undo it so I can show you the bag, because it's really cute. So I'm going to have to rip the bag wrapping up. But it's a very nice size bag. I think this might be the medium size. Yes, because she sent me her sweater size and it's bigger. So this must be a medium size bag. That's still a good size. It's probably about the similar size of that bag I showed you by Java Jenny. And this is by Halcyon. You can see her tag, Halcyon. And look how cute. I love the butterflies. It's really pretty. And then there's a peach zipper. I like how she matches the zippers to everything. It's just cute. And oh, look at the, ooh, I love the inside fabric. Oh, it's really pretty. Look at that. It's like insects, butterflies, and trees. It's like it's almost like it's been drawn with a pencil and put on fabric. Really pretty. And it's like she has a hook on one side so you can hang it on something. And has a nice bottom. Here's the bottom so it can sit up. So those are 2 more prizes for the shawl along. And I also wanted to mention, because I don't think I re-mentioned it last week, that there is also a free pattern available from Ann Podolsek, who is Willy Wonka Fibers. So, exciting, guys. Go ahead and, when you finish your shawls, go ahead and post them. Post them in all our groups. That way you have a chance to, you have lots more chances to win. And I don't think any of us mind if you can post in somebody else's group as well. We're just enjoying doing a knit along together. It's kind of nice to have other people participate in it. So that, I think, is all the administrative stuff that I had to get out of the way. And we can go ahead and talk about what I've been reading. I'm still reading The Book of Life by Deborah Harkness. That's really, really amazing. Every time I think I know what's going to go on, something else gets thrown in the mix. There's all these characters, and they're all very different, and they all have to come together in order to solve or to find the Book of Life, and they're all trying to get it. And some of them we really don't want to get it, and some of them we really are hoping they're the ones who get it first. It's a paranormal book, and so there's a lot of paranormal activity in the book, and magic as well. And the other book I'm reading is for a horror group that I found on Goodreads. I've always wanted to be in a group that reads just horror books, because it's hard to find, well, it's not hard to find horror books, but I want to know which ones are really good. So it's kind of nice to have a book club that people can recommend books that they've already read that are good. And right now I am reading a book called Last Days, and that's one of the read-alongs in the group for this month, and it's by Adam Nebel. And on the cover it says Britain's Answer to Stephen King, and I can tell you this book is excellent. I think I told you before, I'm not going to really mention the books that I'm reading that are mediocre. I'm kind of want to talk about the ones that I'm really enjoying. And this one is about a cult, and Adam Nebel actually developed the cult himself through doing research and talking to people. And it's really believable. And this cult is based on some of the things that we've heard from Jim Jones and Charles Manson, but there's a paranormal twist in there. and it's pretty creepy. And it's a thick book, but I'm reading it really fast. I'm almost done, and I think I started it 2 days ago. So I would really recommend that. It's called Last Days by Adam Neville. And lately what I've been watching is we rent The Maze Runner and watched that. That was good. I was surprised at how good it was. I know it's one of those books that was a bestseller, but you know, I like a lot of YA books, but I don't want to read a lot of them. But if there's a movie, I'll go see it, and I usually enjoy it. And I finished watching Vampire Diaries season 6, and I couldn't believe the way it ended. But I shouldn't be surprised because they always leave you hanging. I was ready for the next episode, and there wasn't one. So I guess I'm caught up, but I'll probably wait until the next season comes out on Netflix to watch it because I don't like watching them out of order. And I started watching the original season 2 since I finished Vampire Diaries. And I like that. If you haven't watched it and you really enjoy things in New Orleans and set in Louisiana in the French Quarter, I would recommend it. And it's got a lot of, it's not like True Blood, but it is a similar feel because it's in the same area. I know True Blood wasn't set in New Orleans, but it was set in Louisiana as well. And it also has a lot of vampires and werewolves and hybrids and witches, and I really like it. And it's a spin-off of the Vampire Diaries, but this one is actually geared towards older people. They're not young, they're past college age, they're older. And I'm still I'm still watching Charmed. I think I'm on the last season now, and I'm taking it very slow because I don't want it to end. And my husband and I started watching Better Call Saul. I'm not sure if I'm that into it. I think I liked the other show that he was in better. And I don't know why I'm blanking on the name of that. But I'm on the fence about this series. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it that much. We'll see. I'll still give it a chance. We'll see. But I did find out that Justified, all the seasons of Justified are now on Amazon Prime, so I think that's what I'm going to be watching next with my husband. Anyway, in a few weeks I will be at the Hill Country Weavers retreat, which is in Horseshoe Bay, and it's about an hour from here, and it's at a resort, and the teachers are Stephanie Pearl McPhee and Clara Parks and Coco Knits. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. There's also going to be some other people there that live in the area that are involved in the fiber arts. So hopefully I may do some recording while I'm there. I'm not sure. I don't know for sure yet. We'll see. But I am very much looking forward to it. It's going to be a nice getaway. And it's a good time of year to have one. Since everyone is so busy in the schools right now, I'm going to be very happy to get a little break. Anyway, with that, I think I've done or talked about everything I meant to talk about. I do have a few new colorways going up in the shop. I think I'd put them away or I would show you. So go check those out. They should be up today. And with that, I'm going to say get busy knitting or get busy dyeing.